Lee Sung-Gyu is a wealthy middle-aged man who works as a center manager at Busan's private Boran Bank. He is an investment consultant as well, who often advises his clients to make safe investments that may earn them a hefty return. However, in his zeal to procure the riches of the world, Lee often forgets to spend time with his family, which has made him an estranged father. Due to the same fact, his relationship with his wife isn't on good terms either. The film begins as Lee decides to drop off his teenage daughter, Hye-in, and his young son, Min-jun, to school. While the kids get settled in the car, Lee reminds his son about an autographed soccer ball. The particular dialogue suggests the fact that Lee weighs materialistic accomplishment more than spending time with his own family, and from time to time, brings expensive gifts for his kids, believing it will fill the gap in his absence. However, Min-jun pays no heed to the soccer ball, and Lee starts the car without further ado. Soon, Mr. Lee finds an unknown mobile phone ringing in his car's glove compartment. He gets a call from a private number with no caller ID. In confusion, Lee picks up the call, and a person named Jinwoo informs him that there is a pressure-sensitive bomb planted under his seat that will explode if he tries to leave the car. The bomber also warns Lee that he will detonate the bomb if his kids try to leave the car as well. In exchange for their lives, the unknown caller demands a ransom payment that he raises to more than $4 million as the story unfolds. The unknown caller, Jinwoo, had not only planted the bomb in Lee's car but also targeted his deputy manager. Hence, the stance established that the motive for revenge was connected with the private bank and its employees.
야, 정우야, 좀 말려봐. 여기 정리 좀 하자.
경산팀이 목격자 증언 확보 중입니다. 사고 원인은 급조 폭발물이고.
공무원 특수반영으로 주시죠. (812년) 해운대 병원 사후 역주행 중. 가만히 있어.
가만히 봐. 빨리 빠져나가.
Finally, Jinwoo revealed his motive when police surrounded Lee's car and demanded answers from the caller. He was taking revenge on Lee and his private bank.
안녕하세요, 센터장님. 센터장님이 경찰한테 죽을까봐 내가 얼마나 조마조마했는지 알아요? 이 폭탄은 시간 되면 무조건 터져.
6 years ago, the bank and its employers, especially Lee, adopted deceptive sales practices and sold shares of Jangho Chemicals to investors, claiming that these shares were risk-free. However, due to an unstable market, many investors suffered a huge loss, among which was Jinwoo's pregnant wife, Yoon-young.
부장님, 아니면은 그 급한 돈이라도 메꿔 돌려.
Lee got rid of the evidence, and his seniors gave him a promotion for concealing their fraudulent practices. However, Yoon Young had invested all her hard-earned money in the shares, and her livelihood depended on the factory. She pleaded with Lee in the car parking lot to give her some advice so that she could at least recover the principal amount. Finally, Lee confessed that he always knew that the shares of Jang-ho Chemicals were a risky investment, yet he sold them to earn a hefty profit for his bank. But in the aftermath, many people died because they trusted Mr. Lee and his advice, and now he had to face the wrath of Jin-woo, who had sworn to take revenge for his lost family. In the end, Lee pleaded with Jin-woo to let him go and promise he would do everything in his power to get things right. But Jin-woo, who lost a family, knew that nothing could ever become right, and thus he refused to forgive Lee. Jin-woo decided to give up his life as well, and he forced Lee to drive the car into the river if he wanted to save his daughter's life. The car drowned in the river before the bomb could explode. However, Lee survived the explosion and was saved by the police, who arrived at the scene at the crucial moment. Lee tried to save Jin-woo's life too, but he failed to save him. The whole incident brought about a change in Lee's character. He decided to become a witness against his private bank and fight for those who were cheated by the corporates. Though Lee had destroyed all the evidence against the private bank, his personal testimony would still be viable in the court of law. Lee Sr., the vice president of the bank, tried to warn Lee and threaten him, but Lee had already made up his mind. He disconnected the call, which clearly suggested that he wouldn't until he had brought justice to the innocent people. Lee can't go back in time and rectify his actions, but he still has a choice in the present and future that will probably decide the fate of his character.